best, which is get out there and represent scouting in a positive light, and at the same time be able to support their scouting adventures throughout the year. So thanks to each and every one of you for participating in this year's sale. I know it's going to be a wonderful sale, and we're just really excited about it. So with that being said, again, thanks to each and every one of you. Thanks to our leadership team, and you guys have a great meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. With that, let's go ahead and get started. Like Matt said, my name is Jennifer Vaughn. I am one of your popcorn kernels for the council this year. My husband is my co-counsel. He was voluntold by me that he was going to help out because, as everybody knows, there's no such thing as only one person in the family being a kernel. You get drug into it along the way. So it's just how it goes. We always share the fun. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that, go ahead and pop them into the chat. Darla and my husband will be monitoring that and try to answer the ones as we go along. And then they'll save any big questions that we think should be repeated for the group for afterwards, but they'll be answering anything out there along the way. Otherwise, I think I've muted everybody so that we can hear. And if you need to, you can unmute yourselves and pop on if there's anything big as well. And I guess we'll get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody wants to rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. So let's get into this because I know everybody's got, time involved tonight. So let's get going as much as we can. We're going to go through a lot of stuff in today's presentation. We're going to start with how we did last year and then what we're planning for this year. Unit goals along the way, what the scouts get out of this, and then we're going to hit the key dates that all the kernels need to know. And then we're going to switch it over and let Trails End go through the tools that they have for us to use. So without further ado, let's get kicked off. Last year, Gavin from 316 was our top seller. He also is currently the Mid-Iowa Council record holder. So, I mean, it's a huge number. $27,000 is a lot of popcorn. I'm sure most of you realize that. I'm not sure if everybody's had that much popcorn sitting in their garage at one point in time, but that is a lot of popcorn to go out there. He set a goal. He worked towards that goal and he worked hard at it. And that's one of the things that he got out of this is he learned what he was doing along the way. Our top unit last year was Pack 85. That's out of Ashland Ridge PTO in Ankeny. They did $47,000 in sales. That's their second year in a row. They've actually had the top seller many times in the past as well. That's a hardworking pack that uses popcorn to motivate their scouts, and it basically funds their scouting gear for a pretty good sized pack out there as well. And then we had 85 scouts who sold over $2,500 in popcorn and got to go to summer camp for free this year. So that's a pretty big reward there in and of itself, something to be celebrated along the way. So what are we doing for, so that actually is just the tip of the iceberg though, because across the council, we did almost $850,000 in sales. That equates to $260,000, actually over that by quite a bit, going to funding scouting, right back to our units for their adventures along the 2020 year. And then over 780 Blitz Week prizes were actually awarded as well. And those were the $10 Scout Shop gift cards. So that's $7,800 right there back directly to scouts along the way. So what is our sales goal for next year, knowing this? Well, we're going for $1.2 million is what we're going to reach for. It sounds like a huge jump, but actually this is getting back to where we were typically selling pre-pandemic. So this is not a crazy number, even though it's a big jump from last year. We still were hampered by the pandemic a little bit last year. But that really comes down to just getting more scouts out there earning free camp, more funds for your units to be able to do the things that the scouts want to do, right? And then we'll find out, we'll pack 85 3-peat, and will Gavin and his parents hit the road again and get out there and sell, $20,000+ in popcorn? Guess we'll just have to find out. So how are we going to do this? Well, as you've already heard probably multiple times now, we are going back to Trails End. And one of the biggest reasons for that is their technology. Having the technology to make the sale easier for colonels and easier for parents and scouts along the way really does make it easier to have a better fundraiser. It makes it simple to go out and sell, keep track of what you're doing. Your inventory is not hard, and that makes it a lot more comfortable for everybody to get out there, which makes it more fun. And then you have a better sale along the way. One of the other big things is Trails End this year means no credit card fees. As long as you process your credit cards through their app, you will not pay any credit card fees this year. And to help make that happen, they also are providing 2 free Square readers, one Android and one Apple. Since you're not in person today, you'll be able to pick those up along with a big sales banner when you go to pick up your first popcorn order. So that'll be available at that time for you guys to get. But that no credit card fees really helps a ton, because that is money that was coming directly out of your unit and or your scouts pockets in the years prior. So this is a huge thing for us. So what do we have to sell? This is the limit of what we have available for in-person product. As you can see, it's lots of things that are back, but it is a smaller selection this time around. And I'm going to say it right now, everything's gone up in price. You're going to notice that. Your customers are probably going to notice that as well. As we know, everything is going up in price with the increase in goods and packaging and delivery and everything. In order to keep the over 70% coming back to scouting, we really did need to make an increase in prices this year. But the nice thing about this is we're not really trying to sell popcorn. When you go out, and you'll see this when you do your pitches, you're more successful if you go out and say, hey, I'm selling scouting, come support my scouting adventures. And this is the popcorn product that we give you back for your donation to us, because that's really what it is. Because nobody in their right mind is spending $25 on a bag of popcorn when they can go into Hy-Vee and buy one for $6, right? They're not buying popcorn, they're supporting scouting and getting a thank you in return. One of the nice things is that Trails End has gotten us 2 new, even from last year, tin designs. So we have brand new tins to give out for Iowa and Iowa State this year again. And they've committed to giving us new designs as we go along. So you don't have to hear people say all the time, oh, I already have that one, right? Because we were running into that for a little while. And then something to keep an eye on is our kettle corn is popped this year. So our only unpopped items are the microwave butter and the popping corn. Everything else comes pre-popped. And then our chocolate pretzels are going to not be available in the very first order, because even on a day like today, they probably would not do so well sitting on a dock waiting for you guys to come pick them up. So those are the items that we have available for show and sell. Online has some additional items. So if you go out there, you can get campfire blend coffee, some different peanuts, beef jerky, caramels, and then the snowflake pretzels and peppermint bark are available as well. These products that are ordered online includes everything you saw in that last slide, as well as all this, with the exception of the Iowa and Iowa State tins. Those are locally available only. So you can't ship those, grandma can't order them from New York and get them delivered straight to her. She has to order them through you, and you have to get them there somehow. But if you go out online, you get free shipping when you reach $70. So $70 in sales. And that does include if somebody does a donation to military or something like that as well. So that does count towards that $70. And like I said, it's shipped directly to your customers. So this is awesome because grandma can order anything else besides the Iowa and State tins, and it'll show up at her doorstep without you having to try to find a way to take it out there when you go out and see her for Thanksgiving. It just makes it so much easier along the way. So how do units make this happen? Well, the first thing is units get a 25% base commission. That's everybody, whether they were here for training or not. For showing up tonight, going through training or one of the previous trainings, you also get an additional 6%. So that takes you up to 31%. And that's only a one-time thing. You don't, if you showed up to all 3, you don't get 6% each time. So You max out at 31 there with that additional Zoom training. And then we've put out 2 stretch goals as well. If any unit reaches 30,000, they will get an additional 1% in commission. And if you can reach 55, which yes, that's above what our top selling pack did last year, but it is entirely doable. That pack has done this before. I know of other packs that have done this before in the past as well. That's an additional 1% on top. So you could reach 33% commission straight back to your unit along the way. So how do your scouts actually sell popcorn? This is one of the big questions that you get out there, especially for new colonels. So we have some different ways. First one is show and sell. And that's where you take your product with you and you show it to customers and sell it. You take your little sheet up, and then if you're doing door to door, you have a wagon usually with you, or lots of people have it in their truck and their kid goes up and then he comes back when he gets his order. But you take the money and then you give him the product and you're done. You get to walk away with your product sale done. Another popular one for this is storefronts, where you take a whole bunch of product and you drop it off at a store. Your scouts set up a little stand and they sell all throughout the day. And again, they take the money and the product goes right to the customer right there, and your transaction is completed. So show and sell is really where you have your product on hand and sell it directly to them. And there's also take orders, and that's where you sell product now and deliver it later. Lots of people do this where they put the little sheet up on the table in the break room at work. I'm sure many of you have purchased other items from other parents. It's your turn to get out there and put it out. So you take it to work, get your money, and then place an order and then bring it back to work later. You can also do this door to door. Like if you run out of product, you can take the money. You can actually store that information in the app and then know where to come back to later to deliver your product again. But take orders is where you sell it now, get your money, and then you come back later and bring them the product. And then one of the really cool ones that Trails End through their technology offers is online sales. So scouts actually can make a personalized website with their own link. So when they send it out through email or however they do to relatives, your remote coworkers, friends and family across the nation, there's no question once they click on that link, they're supporting the scout that they want to support and the unit that they want to support. All that money for sure comes back to you. You're not trying to, remember to pull down menu and find little Joey's name and his right troop in the right state and everything along the way. So they can actually go out and personalize these, put pictures up, their little spiel about why they're trying to raise money for their unit or their, adventures. And it actually works very, very well. It's a great way to sell even passively. I know lots of people who put it up just on Facebook, and then people will come out and click and order from them along the way. So this is what it's really about, right? We sell popcorn to help support scouts. So what do the scouts get out of this? So even one item, all it takes is one item, and you're going to get a ticket to the Iowa Wild game on January 28th for your scout. That's going to be, it's the scout game for the year. We have a bunch of people who show up. Lots of people buy additional ones for the rest of their family members, and everybody all sits together, and it actually takes quite a large chunk of the stadium as well. But one item, it's all it takes, and you get to go to the Iowa Wild on January 28th. And that's hockey, in case you didn't know. The next one we have is at $600. We're giving out the Mid-Iowa Council Popcorn Patch. That's our design for this year. I know lots of scouts have been collecting these throughout their scouting careers as they sell popcorn. That $600, we raised that this year because we want units to help their scouts set a goal. If their unit takes that 31% commission that they have tonight and puts it all towards giving that money back to the scout, $600 actually pays for your year's dues for 2023. Comes out to 184, or is it 186? I can't remember the exact math, but that actually pays for that. So it's not a prize given from the council. That's your unit's commission that comes back to you. Would cover 1 year of scouting for one scout at the $600 level. And if everybody's like, oh my gosh, $600 is a lot of popcorn. It sounds like a lot of popcorn, but at $25 for an average item price, that's only 24 different items that you have to sell. And I'm sure that everybody can come up with 24 packages of white cheddar or something like that that they can get and move out there. We also have Blitz days coming back. The big thing this year is it honestly is Friday, September 9th through Sunday, September 18th. You will have product long before this time. Our first order comes in well before this date. The reason we've made Blitz days during this time is because we want packs to have the same opportunities as troops do. And many packs don't start their scouting year until after school started. And they haven't had a meeting until about this time. So Blitz is really a time to go out, get your scouts all excited about selling popcorn, get them out there, section up the town if that's how you do it, send them out in pairs, send them out with their families, get a whole bunch of product and practice their spiel and have them ready to go. You go out and you hit it hard for that first week and the 2 weekends around it, and you go sell popcorn. You get to submit those results to this location by the end of it. And for every $300 sold, this time it is not a $10 Scout Shop card as it has been in the past. We're doing something different. This year, it's going to be $10 to the Three Oaks Trading Post, which is the trading post up at both Acela and Matigua. The idea is that we're trying to get our scouts out there doing adventures outdoors, going up and having summer camp experiences, right? This gives them a chance to go in and they can take one and buy themselves a hat or a t-shirt or a mug of Matigua root beer. You know, there's a whole bunch of different things up there, get them up and excited about going to camp, and then they have some money they can spend at camp along the way. Those cards will be available in spring of 2023. We're having them printed about the same time as we get our camp codes, so you should be able to pick those both up at the same time. Our $2,500 council reward is coming back as well. This year it's a tiny bit different, so you can still go to summer camp for free. Sell $2,500, you get to go to camp for free. On the Acela side for Cub Scouts, that means a Cub and one adult with them for their experience. And on the Matigua side, because the boys go for a whole week, it's 1 week of camp for the boy or girl, right? Going up to summer camp up in Matigua. Now we know that lots of units don't always go every single year to Matigua. They go different places, and there's lots of other experiences out there that scouts want to save the money up for. So you can choose to do the summer camp, or you can actually have $225 come back to the scouts unit. And then we would hope that that unit would then pass that money on to the scout to use for anything such as out of council camp, going on a trip to Philmont with the Mid-Iowa Council contingent or something like that. Go buy a new uniform at the scout shop. Anything scouting related should be qualified for spending that $225. And that's a one or the other. You can't get both. And it's a one-time thing. So once you hit the $2,500 reward, that's your reward. We don't stack them for every $2,500 that you get. And then everybody who did $2,500 in sales also gets to go to the Top Sellers Extravaganza. They get to bring some guests with them as well. And we basically go have a really fun pizza party, get to watch all the scouts go across the stage, showing how much they've earned, having little medals they get, take pictures of them. It's a great moment for mom to get her scrapbook photo of them up there. And then our top sellers. So we are taking a top seller from the troop and a top seller from the pack level. They each have special prize packages. There'll be the top one across that gets to drop the puck on the ice, and a couple of other experiences along, be on the right up against the glass at the game afterwards. Because after the popcorn party, we then go to the hockey game over at the Iowa Wild that night. The next 8 top sellers after the top 2 actually have gift bags as well that they get to do. So it's a pretty exciting experience for those top sellers to get out there. And then one of the big things that we've got introduced, and I don't know if Matt stayed on, but he's volunteered to take a pie in the face. So this is a unit reward, and units will get to figure out how they want to do this, but the top selling unit will get a chance to pie Matt Hill and get their scouts all worked up about that.
Thank you for clarifying it was Matt Hill, Jennifer.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let any Matt jump in there.
Yeah, don't get us excited. We might have you come out. The more the merrier, right? All right. On top of all this, there are trails and points system that they do for the rewards. These are sponsored by the council as well, but it's done through the app. so that when you can watch and see what your points accumulation goes along the way for each scout. And it's not quite a $1-to-1 for point. It's 1-to-1 for cash, but anything that's taken as credit cards through the app actually earns 1.25 points. So you can actually accumulate points faster than your straight up dollar sales. This has no limit on it. So for those scouts who are really motivated to get out there and sell a ton of popcorn, you can come out pretty well on the end of this. And it tracks through the app what you've earned. And this is all in Amazon gift cards. And one of the things I'll say is don't show this eye chart to your scouts because they're usually not excited by the money. They would rather have the picture that we're going to see later from Matt Levin from Trails End that shows the picture of the ideas of what they could spend their money on, because this is a straight up gift card from Amazon, to Amazon that comes from Trails End right to the scout. This does not go through the unit. This goes straight to the scout as a reward for what they've done. All right, so now what every colonel needs to know, what are the dates? A big thing to notice this year is we only have 3 orders. To be honest, shipping is a logistical nightmare still with gas prices and trucker shortages and all this stuff. We can only really commit to having 3 orders this year and make it successful for everybody and make sure that it actually happens. So your first show and sell order is due Sunday. All right, that is Sunday, August 14th at 11:59. That is placed through the Kernel site using, Trails End's Kernel site. Go out there and place it. You will then get to pick it up on August 26th. That's a Friday. And with this, we use our distribution locations. So if you're out of Prairie Winds, you're going to go pick up at Coca-Cola and Ames. Twin Rivers has Brown's Warehouse and Grimes. And then Woodland Trails has 2 locations, both of them a Fairway, one in Knoxville and one in Ottumwa. When you place this order, you're placing it for full cases. So when you put 1 in the little box, you are not getting 1 bag of white cheddar. I think you're getting, is it 6, Matt? Yes, he's nodding yes. Yeah, so you get 6 in there. So keep that in mind when you place your orders, that it's how many cases you want, not how many individual products. Okay. And then
And they'll say it on there as well for them too, Jennifer. When they see it, it'll tell you how many items per case.
Yeah, so if your number seems crazy, go back and remember you're doing cases and everything along the way. And we'll show you how to place your order and how that kind of works here in a bit.
It's also in the leader's guide, by the way. So if you scroll, I want to say it's on page 12, if I remember correctly. It tells you how many containers are in each case.
There you go. So our replenishment order is a full month later, as you see. So we're going from August 14th to September 18th is the next chance to place an order. That is after Blitz. So you'll have gone through your first, big stack of product and know what you need at that point to keep going. So September 18th, again, before midnight, for picked up on September 23rd. Now that product again is in full cases and it will come to the Scout Center. So that will be picked up there between 8:30 and 6. All right. Your take order, which is your final chance to wrap up your sale and everything, that's when you finally get to do individual containers. That is due October 19th. So notice yet another month out. All right. This is after the sale has ended as well. So you should have final numbers on everything and be able to place your final orders by individual containers. Pickup will be November 11th. And we're back to our distribution locations again with Coca-Cola and Ames, Brown's Warehouse and Grimes, and Woodland Trails has the Fairway and Ottumwa locked down, but they're still trying to figure out exactly where they're going to be in Knoxville, if they can get that second site going or not. All right.
Hey, Jen, can you clear the annotation?
There, that better?
Thank you.
All right. So what do you do with the extra popcorn you're probably going to order? Because if you're like me, you're going to over order to make sure that you have enough, because every year when we do this, we have a plan and then we have a couple more scouts that jump in and are like, yay, I want to sell popcorn too. So our return policy says that on October 14th, which you noticed was before your take order date, from 8:30 to 6 o'clock, you're going to bring back full cases to the Scout Center. And that needs to have all the same product and it needs to match what it says on the outside of the box. So don't throw away your boxes when you're distributing popcorn, keep those. and then bring back full cases with the right stuff in them to the scout shop. The only thing we can't take back is chocolate, and it's for the same exact reason as we're not sending it out. One thing I forgot to mention, in your key dates, your replenishment order here in September, that is when you can first order the chocolate pretzels. That is your first opportunity to do so. All right, but we are not taking back chocolate. So be judicious about how much you order and keep that in mind, because we can't take back any melted product, which is usually what comes back with chocolate by the time we're done. And your invoice due date is November 11th. That is the same day as your take orders are picked up. So bring a check with you made out to the Mid-Iowa Council to the take order if you need to. One of the cool things about the way Trails End runs their stuff is that because your commission, you start with your order amount, right? And that's the total amount you have due back to the council. That amount decreases every time there's a credit card run through Trails End app. So you run a credit card through there, that money goes to Trails End and it comes straight off of your invoice. And anytime a parent pays their balance due back to you as a colonel, comes off that invoice. Your commission comes off that invoice. It becomes pretty awesome. You can actually have, you know, negative amounts due. You can actually get money back from Trails End rather than having to make a check out to the council at the end of this. So it's a pretty cool way to do this. But if you do, make it out to the Mid-Iowa Council and have it with you on November 11th so you can get everything done all at once. So what do you do in the meantime? Because you've ordered extra products, so you now have extra some things, you're still missing a few things, right? Transferring product is actually pretty easy to do with the Trails End technology. The question is finding somebody else who has the product you need and getting rid of yours. So I suggest everybody joins the Mid-Iowa Council Facebook popcorn swap site. You go out there, number one, you can communicate with other colonels, right? You can ask some questions out there. We monitor it as well for any questions and issues along the way. Gives you a great way to get in touch with colonels. And then you can actually put out there, hey, I need 2 bags of white cheddar because somebody turned one in last minute. Does anybody have those? And you can meet up with the colonel, swap them, and you can actually use the colonel website, initiate that transfer, both units agree to it, and it updates your inventory for you. It makes it really slick. In addition to this, I know that Darla has said that the council has agreed that they will carry some product from the first show and sell order. So if you do find yourself, you know, short a few cases or something like that along the way, or if you have any issues with product, no questions asked, get in contact with the council and they'll make arrangements for you to be able to get some stuff. We probably won't be able to, you know, send $20,000 worth of product your way, but you can probably get a few cases here and there of things that you might be short on if that's what's necessary.
And those orders will be, if questions do come in, and I just in the chat box, I gave the number to call the office. And then they'll be given to you guys in cases, not individual containers.
There you go. So it's still cases because it's still early in the sale. All right, so that's what the council and I have got for you guys. I'm about ready to switch it over to Trails End to let them go over the technology portion, how you're going to do this. Were there any questions that we thought should be brought up to the group as a whole before we go on?
Well, I appreciate everyone joining, just to echo what a lot of folks have already said, but we are really excited to be working with you guys this year. It has been a fun time for us to get to know you guys, and to echo kind of what Matt Hill said in the beginning is really excited about the team that Darla and in the Mid-Iowa Council put together. I've been working with Trails End 10 years now, and had the privilege and pleasure of working with a lot of councils, and what the committee has been put together headed with Jennifer and Dong has just been absolutely incredible, and I'm excited for what you guys have to see and what we're going to have going forward here. So we're really excited about it. Get this going here. So what we're going to start off with, as we talked about, one of the things that Trails End really prides themselves on is our technology and what we've been able to do. So one of our key initiatives, we got our pillars that we kind of focus on. One of them is our Trails End Storefronts. And a voice and a name you guys are going to hear pretty frequently is Becky Alt. And Becky is actually on the phone with us. So I'm going to turn it over to her in a second. and let Becky kind of walk you through this program. And the reason why I'm going to have her do it is because this is her program. This is her baby. So Becky is actually a unit leader like everyone on this phone. She is from California, and how Becky became part of the Trails End team is back in 2017, her pack set records that we had never seen before. She and her unit surpassed I think it was $90,000 that year in sales. So we called them and said, how'd you do it? And they really pride themselves on doing storefront locations. And we thought it would be a great way for other units and other scouts to really grow their sale and do amazing things. So not only did they sell an obscene amount of popcorn, but they also had an incredible program and did some crazy things. And even more importantly, their pack went from 40 to 80 in 1 year, and they recruited a lot of those kids at storefront shifts, just kids telling other kids about all the cool stuff they were doing in scouting. So I'm going to pass it over to Becky right now, and she's going to kind of go through the storefront process and kind of what she had. She's going to go through it pretty quickly, but there's also some tons and tons of opportunities for you guys to ask questions, some resources and things along those lines. So Becky, please take over, and I'll drive for you.
Okie dokie. So thanks for the introduction. And Matt is right. Not only am I a unit leader from California, but my entire team is made up of top selling unit leaders. I've got people scattered all over the country. So the people that are working on your storefronts are people that are in the scouting program, that have scheduled storefronts, that have worked storefronts, that understand how to approach managers and all of the different steps that we need to take. So I know that because storefronts are such an important part of everybody's campaign, sometimes people can be a little bit nervous when they hear that Council and Trails In are going to come in and that we're going to start scheduling. But I just want you to rest assured that there's a lot of care and concern that goes into all of the storefront booking and the entire process. We have a current list of stores that we have booked. I know that Darla had put an updated PDF. I think she put it up, it was yesterday, on your council website. So you're able to go and reference that list at any point in time. We actually did add a few fairways here in the last week or so. So make sure that you check that list out. And you're also able to see the stores that are available from the unit leader portal. You are going to go to the storefront tabs. And once you're in the storefront reservation tab, it's going to tell you how many reservations you have available, when your next reservation is available, and you're able to click through a calendar. Anytime you see a blue icon in the corner of the calendar, that indicates that there's a storefront available on that day. You simply click on that day, and then if you see a store in the list that you'd like to reserve, there's a blue reserve button. It's simple. You just click on the button, it processes, and then you can see those shifts pop up in your storefront management tab. So if you have any questions or concerns about your storefronts, my entire team works during the weekend while most of your sales are taking place. So we like to make sure that we give you guys lots of support. And we also have storefront agreements that are available for you to view at the unit level. So you're able to see, after you've booked these, after you have reserved these stores, you're able to see who we talk to at the store, when we talk to them, where they want you to set up, or if they have any type of specific instructions for you. So I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet so that I'm not taking up too much of your time. I'm going to go ahead and move on from storefront scheduling, and I will hang out. I can take any questions that you guys might have at the end of the training.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Becky. Again, Becky's team is absolutely incredible. And if you guys run into any issues, if you see a store on that location that you've already got a relationship with or you've already booked, just send us a note, let us know. We'll make sure that, we trust but verify, but make sure that we don't want to step on anyone's toes. This is just an opportunity. One of the things, if you don't see a store on that list, or if there's a store that says available to call, please call them, right? Becky and her team did an incredible job, and they preserved over 10,000 hours of stores for the Mid-Iowa Council. But just because you don't see it on it doesn't mean that it's not available. And, you know, Adam, who you guys will hear from as well, he's another Trails End employee, Adam Walden. So it's myself and him that have the pleasure of working with you guys. One of the things that he says that I really like a lot is he said, you know, he really hates the term storefront because people think just stores. Think of a booth sale. Anywhere that there's foot traffic, anywhere that people spend money, you can set up a location. One of the top sellers in the country has a local butcher shop that he goes to and does very, very well every year. It's on a Saturday and Sunday morning, and folks come there to get their meat for the week, and he does super, super well. All right, so I'll get into the technology really, not to get way into the weeds on it, but it's, again, what we really pride ourselves on. What the main pillar of our business is our technology. I'm going to go through this. If you guys have questions, utilize the chat. We're obviously here to help you. But the unit leader portal, this is where you guys as unit colonels, this is your bread and butter. This is where you live. One of the biggest updates that we made this year is our unit leader portal is now user-friendly, is now mobilely enabled. So you guys can access this wherever you are. You can manage your entire sale from your handset. And we got a lot of feedback from unit leaders like yourself that said, yeah, it's great, but I don't walk around with my laptop or my desktop all the time. When I'm at a storefront, or if I'm out doing this, that, and the other, I want to see what's going on, and I want to be able to do things from my phone. So you will be able to do everything from your handset this year, which is a huge win for us. And we've gotten a ton of great feedback on that everything can be managed from their cell from just their handset. So this is kind of what your leader portal looks like from your handset. It's built for the mobile phones. Obviously, you can look at your storefronts. You can place your orders. You can see what orders have been made. You can work through the storefronts from their inventory perspective, from your managing cash, your shift management, all of these things. You can see what scouts are, who actually has created an online account or has a scout account so they can get into their app. You can do everything from the phone. All right, so as I said, as a unit colonel, you live and breathe in the unit leader portal. The app is for a scout. So if you're a parent and you try to log in and create an account in the app, it's going to tell you you're too old. It really doesn't tell you that, but it's for scouts. This is where they live, right? So we want every scout to create an account and every scout to utilize the app. Why this is important? Because you as a colonel now have full visibility to what everything's doing. So we've heard horror stories in the past of, you know, little Billy takes out $1,000 worth of popcorn and he tells you everything's going great. And then comes, you know, October 13th, the day before your returns are due, and he brings back everything, right? If we know what kids are out and what they're selling, from a council's perspective, from a Trails End perspective, and you as the unit colonel, you can actually help your scouts throughout the way, because little Billy may not be able to sell it, but little Johnny or Susie is really knocking it out of the park. So we can always transfer that product over to them. This also gives us the ability to all of their sales that go through it, we can see, and that's how they accumulate their points for rewards and how they're going to get their points for the bonus blitz weekends. As Jennifer mentioned, we accept all credit cards and the credit cards are free. So, well, what if the person doesn't, you know, what if I don't have a reader and I've got to key it in? Still free, right? Whether it's through an Android, an Apple, whether you have a Bluetooth reader, which are super cool. If you guys don't have those, might be worth the investment. I think they're like 40 or 50 bucks, but the kids actually absolutely love them. You don't have to worry about plugging it in and not. A lot of the times they just hold it and you can do it via Bluetooth. It's great. But again, you to make sure you're utilizing the app. If you have your own Square account, Trails End doesn't know that, so we're not going to be able to reimburse you for the credit card fees. If you log into the app, it's going to go through Trails End. We're going to take care of all of the fees, no matter how it's recorded. All right, so as far as training and support goes, we do not want you to suffer in silence. So we are going to provide as much training and as much support as we possibly can. There's training within the app for the scouts. There's training within the unit portal for you guys. There's a tons of videos. We've got top selling scouts. We have top selling units from across the country. All of our training and support is done by unit colonels, right? We feel the best support is for people that are in the trenches with you guys. So we're doing these webinars. You can find them. They're actually recorded, but you'll see on our webinar website that they're available. You can get through your leader portal as well. But please utilize these. The folks that actually join these webinars in previous years see a huge increase in their sale, because it just gives them some ideas and things that they haven't done. We also have 2 different types of webinars. We have for brand new leaders and we have for returning ones. So sometimes, the brand new leaders, this is a football type of a thing. This is a popcorn sale, kind of goes through the nuts and bolts of what a popcorn sale is going to look like. And the returning one, we don't have to go through all the terminology and things of that nature. It kind of gets into more of a high level of what we can do to really increase your sale. You've got questions, you have multiple questions. Number one, please join our Facebook group. Trails End has a community Facebook group that now, Becky, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's like 15,000 members or things of that nature. It's fantastic. They typically can get answers to your questions faster than we can respond to them, or even the council, because one wonderful thing about social media is it doesn't matter where you are, right? So you may pop a question and it could be you're sitting on your lazy boy at midnight thinking about popcorn like the rest of us do, right? Well, for Becky, that's 9 p.m. and she's going to be on her Facebook too, and she can answer your question. So any ideas you need, it's actually one of the coolest things we have. But we're also doing these live Facebook communities every Wednesday. They started a couple of weeks ago on July 27th, and they will run through November. They start at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we will just have open hours, office hours for us to have customer support, things of that nature, answer any questions you guys might have. Jennifer already went over the rewards thing. This is something that another one of our pillars that we really pride ourselves on, Amazon gift cards. We've seen kids do some really cool things. And obviously the more they sell, the more of a gift card they can achieve. The pictures are just things that they can get. These are ideas that things come to, but we've had kids do some other things. We've had incredible things where, we had a kid that bought a large big screen TV, and he sent us a picture, and it was there was like a 32-inch TV, and it said Dad's Man Cave. And then there was like a 55-inch TV, and he said my TV. But one of the coolest things, we've got some kids that have done some incredible things. There was a kid last year based in Michigan, and not in a really large, metropolis. He was kind of in a small town, and he actually sold over $100,000 last year. One scout sold $103,000, which is incredible. But which is more incredible is what the kid has done. His name is Mason, and this year Mason has sponsored 10 Feeding America food trucks out of what he has gotten back from his rewards, which is really incredible. There's another scout by the name of JJ who's based in Minneapolis, St. Paul, who sold, I think JJ did $50,000 last year, and he took all of his Amazon cards and he sponsored 3 orphanages in Minnesota, and he delivered 155 holiday presents to kids in orphanages that wouldn't have the ability to get presents, which is just pretty incredible. So as amazing as this is, and these kids selling an obscene amount, the thing that I take back is the program. The thing that you guys signed your scouts up for, and what Darla has dedicated her career to, is the impact you make on little kids' lives and making them great people. Everyone has said that these kids that do these incredible things, all of their parents come back and tell us it's because of the program. It's what you guys are teaching them. So greatly appreciate that, and we say it all the time at Trails End. It's just, we feel very fortunate that we get to be a very small part of the impact that you guys make. But it's incredible. And the best thing about, online with our have these Amazon gift cards is you as a colonel don't have to worry about, well, I ordered the little blue widget and I got a red one and this one's broken and things of that nature. They fill it out. You guys click a button. that says, yep, this is what they sold. We trust but verify, but within 5 days, that Amazon gift card is given to that scout electronically, as long as your invoice to council is paid. So you've got to make sure that's cleared up, but you guys don't have to worry about tracking down the different prizes and things of that nature. I'm sure there's some of you on the phone that still have prizes from previous years that kids haven't picked up yet. So this way you'll be able to see what they've earned, and they can go get whatever they want, whether it's TVs or if you're Becky's son, you just order those super spicy chips and the Taki chips or whatever they were, in cases upon cases of them. As you can see, like I talked about, the more you sell, the more points you achieve, the higher percentage you can get. So if you can get to those 17,500 points or more, you'll get 10% of your Amazon gift card. So quick math, right? I told you Mason last year sold over $100,000. So you guys can probably figure out how big of an Amazon gift card he achieved. If you utilize credit card, you get a little bit more of a bump. So you're giving them 1.25 points for every time you utilize a credit card for a sale. We kind of talked through it a little bit, but why do kids love our rewards program? They get to buy what they want. I think the last time I saw it, there was over 550 million toys on Amazon that are age appropriate and scout appropriate for kids. They get whatever they want. It comes faster, and they get bigger and better prizes than they've ever had. From a Colonel's perspective, it's a lot less work. You don't have to worry about collecting the orders, distributing the different prizes. We've kind of become this one-stop shop for them, and it makes it much easier for you because you don't have to figure out what little Johnny and Susie want. You just know that they got a 50, 100, whatever it is, Amazon gift card, and just submit it and you're good to go. Also, as Jennifer mentioned, we've got some additional products for our online. So we've got some peanuts, we've got coffee, our dark chocolate salted caramels, which are super addicting. So be careful when you buy those, or just buy a lot of them, and beef jerky. So different things that are available than our traditional sale. One of the things we push for a lot, and we actually got this, Becky and I actually had the privilege to present to some of you guys back in, I believe, March timeframe in person, and a lot of the allergens and that type of stuff are questions about what our products. So we put this out. It's on the leader portal. It's also available through the app. So if you guys get questions of nutritional information on the products, here's a breakdown of exactly, what they contain, if they're not, things of that nature. So hopefully you guys will find that to be helpful.
Somebody actually recommended that Colonel should probably print it out. And if you're doing storefronts, just have a copy stuffed in with each scout that goes out, or if you do a common cash box, put it in there so they have it easy access there too. That's
a really good idea, Jennifer. Yeah. All right. So the most important thing, how do you guys go in and place your orders, right? As you know, your orders are due this Sunday at 11:59. So make sure we get them in there. So when you guys log into the Trails End website, as Dong said earlier, if you guys haven't registered to sell, please do so, because that way we know that we can, if you don't have a username and password yet, by registering, that will generate you one. And once the council approves you guys in that unit, you'll get emailed your username with a temporary password, and then obviously you can go in and create your own unique password. When you go in there, there's going to be a big blue button that says on your dashboard, order popcorn. That's where you start. You just hit that button. The delivery site's already open. Darla's got that open up for you guys. You can choose the delivery you want, which will be the show and sell order, and then enter the quantities per item that you want. As Jennifer mentioned, it is by case. So if you are ordering, make note of it that, salted caramel are 12 per case, but white cheddar is 8 per case, and butter is 6 per case. It'll tell you that on there, but you'll also see on the bottom what your retail is. If you guys are unsure of what you should order, there's a auto populate that you can type in the dollar amount that you want to order, and it'll populate it for you. Just double check it to make sure it jives with you guys. The Iowa and Iowa State tins or something that you want. Click submit. Once you submit it, it goes to council. They review it. They make sure that you didn't make a mistake or they may have some questions and things of that nature, they'll approve it. You'll get a confirmation email that says, hey, your order's been approved. If you guys have questions, obviously, as I mentioned, the Mid-Iowa Council has done an amazing job of building team with Jennifer and Dong and all of the district colonels and the team that they've got. Please start there. But if you need help from us, again, please don't suffer in silence. We want to make sure that we make this as simple as possible for you guys. Typically, when I do a live training, I ask people go through like how long they've been colonels, and it's, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 8 years. And then when I get to those people that have been there 5 or 8 years, I ask them how many of them have been trying to find a replacement for the last year, and all of them keep their hands in the air. We're trying to change that. We're trying to utilize technology where this doesn't become, well, I was the last person that showed up to the meeting, so I was voluntold that I have to be the colonel, right? This is hopefully a fun activity. You guys have a huge impact on what scouts can do. And as Jennifer said earlier, right, like we want this to be, they go and they earn their own way and, going to trying to chase down parents for money. And hopefully the international bank of mom and dad can take a break for a little bit, and scouts can earn their own way, because that's one of the things that obviously we're trying to teach them. I know I went through that super fast. I'm trying to keep as cognizant of time. I know everyone's had long days and things of that nature. Dong, was there any questions that came through the chat that I need or Becky need to answer quickly?
I didn't see anything on there. I guess maybe just a clarification too, that while there are storefronts that Trails End has booked, and they've booked thousands of hours all throughout the council, you can also book your own storefronts, and then once you've booked it, you can then enter them into your leader portal and make it available to your scouts. And that way you can track everything within that instead of having to have a separate spreadsheet or anything like that. So it's really awesome. And Jen, if you want to show, we've actually, we opened up our stuff this past week to our parents to be able to book some, or to claim some storefront hours that we've set up. And so it's really cool what you can do. Once the parents has picked it up, you can see like on a given day how many shifts have been claimed, and then for each scout you can see how many shifts they've picked up and all that. So Matt, maybe you need to give Jennifer the hosting.
Yep, I can probably do that. I can
to see, but
I can stop sharing here.
Yep. So there's some really neat features in there that just makes your life a lot easier as a colonel.
Yeah, let me go back and find Jennifer.
Make sure you hit record, Jennifer, please.
Actually, I was thinking I was going to stop because I'll be pulling up scouts names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think this is the formal end of the presentation, I think, but we're going to go through some of the things that help colonels, how your unit portal looks and things like that, so you can see what we're doing. And like I said, I'm going to stop recording at this point because it's going to pull up some sensitive, some information about my scouts in particular that I don't necessarily want to share on the recording.
Yeah, and one of the
Certainly
things,
answer
you should be okay now, Jennifer. You want me to stop recording?
I think you probably